You know that coffee you drink every single day? Well, there's a whole hidden story inside it. A story of royalty, disaster, and survival. And today, we're going to uncover that tale. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever, actually stopped and wondered about the history swirling around in your cup? Like the very specific chain of events that led to those exact flavors? Because trust me, it's way more dramatic than you think. Okay, to really get this, we've got to go back in time. The whole story really pivots on this one single devastating event back in 1876. There was this plague, right? It was called leaf rust. Basically, it's a fungus that just suffocates the plant. And it just swept through Indonesia and almost completely wiped out their entire coffee industry. It changed coffee history forever. So where did this all start? Well, it began with the reigning champion of coffee, Arabica. The best way to think of it is as the original prima donna. I mean, it's celebrated for its incredible quality, but it's also famously difficult to work with. So Arabica originally comes from Ethiopia, and it's a really delicate plant. It's so prized for these complex, super aromatic flavors, and honestly, you can just tell from its flowers. They're fragrant and star-shaped that you're about to get something pretty special. And when I say difficult, I mean very picky. Arabica demands super high altitudes, cool, stable temperatures, just the right conditions to thrive. It's the classic high-effort, high-reward crop for any farmer. Right, but all that perfection, it came at a huge price. That delicate nature, the very thing that made it so special, well, that was also its fatal flaw. It made it incredibly vulnerable to that leaf rust disease, the one that just completely wiped out the plantations. So their most prized crop is just gone. The industry is on its knees. They needed a hero, right? And around the year 1900, they found one, a tough-as-nails new species called Robusta, the hardy workhorse of the coffee world. And it's totally true to its name. Robusta is, well, robust. It's tough, it's super productive, and this is the key part. It was resistant to the exact same disease that had just annihilated Arabica. I mean, talk about the perfect solution to the crisis. So, unlike our picky friend Arabica, Robusta actually loves warmer, lower altitudes. Now, its flavor is a bit harsher for sure, but what it does have is a ton of caffeine. It's what gives espresso that signature kick. And you know that beautiful, thick crema you get on top, that reddish-brown foam on a really good shot? Yeah, that's Robusta. Its bold flavor is also why it's pretty much the backbone of most instant coffee. And get this, after the disaster, Robusta didn't just help the industry, it completely took over. I mean, its resilience is just so incredible that today, it makes up over 90% of all coffee grown in Indonesia. That's not a comeback, that's a total revolution. Okay, but the story doesn't end there. There's a third character, one you might not have heard of, a lesser-known but totally fascinating species called Liberica. We can think of it as the hidden giant. Now, this plant is the ultimate survivor. Seriously, it can thrive in poor soil and at low altitudes where even the tough guy Robusta can't make it. And that leaf rust we were talking about, Liberica is virtually immune. This is, without a doubt, the toughest bean of them all. So you're probably thinking, if it's so tough, why isn't it everywhere? Well, here's the catch. The problem is it's really, really low yield. To put it in perspective, for every 100 pounds of coffee cherries you pick, you only end up with about 12 pounds of actual coffee beans. That just makes it super challenging economically for most farmers to grow. But Liberica has another little secret up its sleeve. You can actually brew its leaves to make a low-caffeine drink, kind of like a tea. It's a completely different use for the plant, not even involving the beans. It's just a plant of many hidden talents, this one. All right, so we have our three characters, the prima donna, the workhorse, and the survivor. What does all this mean for you? How does knowing their story help us understand what's actually in our own coffee cup? Okay, let's break it all down one last time. It's pretty simple, really. You've got Arabica, that's for your delicate, aromatic flavor. Then you've got Robusta for that powerful, high caffeine kick. And finally, the ultra survivor, Liberica, known for its extreme adaptability. 3 beans, 3 completely different personalities. So the next time you go to order a coffee, you'll know the incredible story behind it. A story of crisis, of survival, and of personality that shaped the very drink in your hand. Which leaves us with just one final thought. Now that you know their history, which one of these characters really belongs in your cup?